Hi, everyone.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's. We'll wait for a few more people to get on and watch us here, but this is our special Q&A Valentine's edition. So go ahead and send in your questions. We'll get started with some of the things that we decide to go ahead and talk about. And so let's get started here with a few things.
And there we are. We're actually live.
We're live.
Hi.
Hi.
You can never trust Facebook.
No.
They burn you.
Yeah. All right. So where do you want to go ahead and get started? Anybody have any questions up to this point right now? See, we get a few more people on here. All right. Well, happy Valentine's. We'll go ahead and...
No, turn that down.
No. Feedback.
Okay. Hi, Dr. Hilliard.
Hi.
Hi, Mike. All right.
All right, you want to go ahead and just start with the nervous system, the foundation?
Sure, let's start with the nervous system, the foundation.
Okay.
So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is being stressed out and where that leaves you in a happy or unhappy relationship.
Yes.
So inside of our nervous system, there's a few different divisions, but one of those divisions is something called sympathetic or parasympathetic balance. And so your sympathetic nervous system is, you can call it fight or flight. A lot of people have heard of that.
Yeah.
It's basically when you're really stressed out and your body is going into fight mode. So things that happen are that your body starts really quick thinking. It gets ready to run.
Eyes dilate.
It's ready to fight. And that is very, very useful if you're in a situation that calls for that. But sometimes we get stuck over here, living a stressful lifestyle.
Some people don't even know they're stuck in that lifestyle.
Right, exactly.
It's normal to them.
And then there's the parasympathetic part, and parasympathetic gets called rest and digest,
Yeah.
or feed and breathe, which are all great things, but you don't want to be stuck over here either. So it's all about balance. Now, most people, like Dr. Taylor said, are stuck over here in the stressful side of things.
Yeah,
and
we have the objective findings to prove that.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things, if you're a patient in our office, that we started doing this past year is looking at where you're at on that scale. Mm-hmm. And so this is something called HRV, or heart rate variability. And you may have already had a scan that looked something like this, or you will soon. It's part of what we're doing for all of our patients now. Yeah. And HRV plots you on a scale of whether you're really over here in the sympathetic portion, or maybe even way stuck over here. I don't know that I've maybe ever even seen anybody.
Seen it, never.
Stuck
never,
over here.
ever have seen anybody stuck in the parasympathetic. Everybody's far into the sympathetic.
And so the scan, you can see even on this patient here, that this is going to be the sympathetic side here, just like on our little chart. This is the stress side, and this is the parasympathetic, or the feed and breathe side. And almost everybody is really far on to the stress side.
Every single one. I think I've seen one person, a child basically, that was actually more in the middle.
And middle is exactly where you want to be. So we don't want to necessarily be over here. It's about balance.
Right.
And so I wanted to talk to you guys about feeling frisky and
or not
and your parasympathetic or sympathetic balance. So if you are really stressed out all the time over here, you're so far away from your feed and breathe side that it's going to be a real challenge.
It's not, a lot of times it looks at procreation. Your body is wanting to, form those bonds. And actually, procreation is one of the things that we look at, that, are we able to do this as a species? If it's too dangerous, if you're always in fight or flight mode, it's too dangerous to do that. So your body actually shuts down. There's a whole process called cortisol steal that will actually stop making your hormones in lieu of creating cortisol to keep you safe, to basically keep your body running, keep the whole organism running.
Yeah. And so then say you're way down here. Let's just hypothetically.
Yeah, because I've never seen it.
But hypothetically, let's say we're way down here. You might think that this would be better for one's love life, but not necessarily. This is where maybe you're laying around fighting about what restaurant you should go to.
Nobody can make up their mind.
What we want with the nervous system, and really with most processes in the body, is a nice balance between the two. And that's the sweet spot, so to speak, between the stress and the laying around, halfway in between.
Yeah.
And so some of the techniques that we talk about for making sure that you're balanced are, I'm sure if you've hung around long enough, you know about EFT. And if you don't, check it out. There's tons on the internet about EFT, or emotional freedom technique, which is simply acupuncture tapping technique. And that's something that's really, really great for balancing between the two.
Yeah, emofree.com is a great website. It's actually created by the person that created this whole process. And there's a lot of YouTube videos out there where they can even show you how to do it with your kids.
Yeah. Well, do it EFT with your kids.
Yes.
Let's be clear.
Yes.
Also, one of the things that I've been thinking a little bit about lately is sometimes we use stress as a lifestyle. And so it's just some food for thought. When you're consistently in that stressful state, or just kind of running your life off of that basis, then there's not just this particular topic, but a lot of things that should be happening in your body that aren't. Your healing will reduce as well. Eventually your ability for cognitive thought reduces as well.
The brain fog.
Brain fog. So basically you're making yourself a little bit less sharp and less able to heal. And so it's important to make sure that that's not just kind of part of our lifestyle as well.
Yeah, the inflammation goes so far up in your body when you're stressed. I mean, you've always heard that stress is the #1 killer, right? It can beget all sorts of different physiological processes in the body. So by being able to deal with stress, stress isn't going to go away. I mean, let's be real here. It's not going to go away. So reducing stress is kind of something I think is just kind of ridiculous. It's how you respond to it. What are you doing on a daily basis to feed yourself, to reduce stress, to look at stress in a different way? And, is it affecting your health? So, I mean, what we're seeing right now in our office with the heart rate variability testing is that most people aren't dealing with stress very well. And it's really affecting their health and their ability to heal, just as Dr. Christie said.
Yeah, absolutely. So no questions yet, but a lot of tech support on how we can make it not mirror image next time.
Oh, excellent. We knew there was a way to do that.
Does that bring up any questions for you guys about the sympathetic versus parasympathetic, or the balance, or techniques as far as stress reducing or anything like that? Let us know. I would love to answer your questions. So you've got a few things down there.
Yes, I do. So some fun things, as well as I think some pretty important things. When it comes to vitality, when it comes to feeling that love spark, if you will. If we are really stressed in our lives, remember I told you there's something called cortisol steal. It actually causes your hormone production, things like testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, to decrease, especially the longer we've been under stress. So the older that we get, time, right, is that you are going to do in favor of producing cortisol. Cortisol is that stress hormone that our adrenals create. And if you're constantly stressed, cortisol is going to be pumping out, and all of a sudden, testosterone goes down, estrogen goes down, progesterone goes down. So those amorous feelings that you used to have are no longer available. So there is something that can help with helping to naturally bring up the balance of hormones, especially things like testosterone. And this is a very safe supplement. It's called Tribulus. And what we really love about this particular one, this is from Standard Process. This is the only Tribulus that is made that we found that can actually tell us where this particular product came from. This came from Romania. Romanian Tribulus, for some reason, has specific properties that you have to take less in order to get the same effects. And it's the only one. They even tried to, I remember our rep told us one time that they actually tried to take the Tribulus plant and plant it somewhere else. Same type of climate, everything, but it still didn't produce the effects or actually have the amount.
The therapeutic value.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. That the ones grown in Romania. So this actually comes from Romania. And so that's why we really like this. We know exactly where it came from. You can call them up and ask them about all their studies they've done on this particular product. And what this does is it helps to increase testosterone. And testosterone is one of the things that also, as we get older, those are some of the things that start going down. Even women, we have testosterone. And it really is important to make sure we have that, we maintain that balance. So this is an excellent product, especially for postmenopausal women as well.
And this one is meant to be therapeutic, so it is also if you guys take the men's daily vitamin, you will notice that this has Tribulus in it too. This is sourced differently and made for day-to-day use.
Right.
Whereas this one is more of a short-term therapeutic value.
Yeah, this right here is the Tribulus fruit, which is, again, something that you can take on a daily basis without having a strong herbal response to. This, however, just as Dr. Christie said, is therapeutic, and this is from the roots and from the stems. So there's a different parts of the plant have different therapeutic.
How cool is that?
I know, isn't that
That's
cool?
great.
So this right here, we have a men's, the Pure Synergy formulas, the Vita Mineral Herb, which is it's from food. It's almost completely organic where they source everything. And you can actually call this particular company up called the Synergy Company, and you can call them up and they can tell you where they source their products. We also have a women's version, the Vital Mineral Herb for women. And again, both of these things, they're excellent to kind of keep the juices flowing.
Keep the juices flowing over time.
Now men. Now in our men's formula, there is a substantial amount of zinc, which is great because zinc is very important for not only overall our immune systems as men and women, but also zinc is really important for men and their hormone production, especially to make testosterone. So Standard Process also has one called zinc liver chelate, and what we could do very, very simply during our nutritional exam is to do a zinc test. And it's just a drop onto the tongue, and you let us know if you taste or you don't, and we can determine whether you're deficient in zinc or if maybe you're not even absorbing them properly. That's why they say things like oysters are aphrodisiacs, because they're super, super high in zinc. So that's one of the reasons why they say that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How fun is that?
So zinc, guys.
So you can do oyster or pill.
Yes. So depends, just don't eat oysters in the months without a R. Okay? Just telling you. So that's really important as well.
And that's how you go through your organ reflex exam and evaluate patients, not just for zinc, but for whether this is going to be right for daily use. Or it's a really great service that we offer to our patients, and really, anybody who would like that service, to go through and make sure that patient is getting exactly what they need based off of different body signs, like Taylor was talking about with the zinc test in the mouth to see if they could taste it. There are different body signs for so many different nutrients to be able to tell whether the organs are functioning properly, what they need, what they don't need. And I mean, let's face it, your body working well is what vitality and
healing.
Yes, what it's all about. And so if you are, oh, here we got the phone going.
Yeah.
So if you're noticing that you're not feeling as frisky as you used to, well, it's really just a sign that your body's stress is accumulating over time. And so you need to do some things to reverse that, getting the proper nutrients in your body is part of that. And so that particular test can really help, as well as, of course, making sure that your body is functioning well. And that's where the chiropractic portion of things comes in too. As you guys know, we're chiropractors, and it's all about making sure that that our body is working at the very, very best that it can. And that's what gives you health long term, whether we're talking about our special Valentine's Sexual Health Edition, or whether you're talking about getting up and being able to play with grandkids or do the other things that you want to. It all works together. It's all part of how your body's functioning and making sure that it's functioning at its best, whether it's with a nutrient or whether it's your nervous system or emotional health.
Exactly. And that's where the emotional freedom technique comes in. So it's not just one thing. It's not just one supplement. You know, when we're looking at, figuring out how your body is functioning, especially through like the organ reflex exam or through our very thorough chiropractic nervous system exam, with the nutritional testing, it's you telling us what you need. We don't have to guess. There's 5, 6, 7 different supplements that we have for one particular support of one system. So what's right for you?
And a lot of times we'll see that maybe someone who has educated themselves, they're not necessarily wrong, but they may be taking all 7 things and they don't really need to. Their body might be just perfectly happy with one of those things. And so really it helps to save money and,
and really get to the cause of the problem.
Right.
Not like taking
Just
one
throwing
supplement
things
for
at it.
this and one supplement for that. It's much more fun to eat than it is to take a pill. Let's just be honest. And so when we're looking at healing the body and supporting the body properly, you want to make sure you're getting the right stuff. You want to make sure you're getting the things that are going to supply you and your body chemistry with what it needs for the proper support. So the nutritional exam is something that we can use. You get to actually feel the difference instantly.
Yeah.
And we can put together a very personalized protocol. And the goal over time is to make sure you're not taking 20 different supplements every single day.
Yeah. So when we sit here and talk about these things, these are excellent products, but it's going to be so much better if you are certain that is exactly what your body needs, because there are other excellent products as well.
Yeah. So personalized, precise nutritional work, as well as what we do here, the precision that we have here at our office when it comes to the nervous system is really key. With the upper cervical work that we do, it's the most precise adjustment you could ever imagine. If you think about it, when we're looking at the parasympathetic and sympathetic part of the nervous system, we actually have certain nerves that exit our spine that deal with these exact spots. So up here in the upper cervical area is all parasympathetic, as well as down in the sacral area in the low back is all parasympathetic. Everything in between is at sympathetic. Why? Because when we need to fight or flight, we have to be able to do this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just think about how just beautiful and the body works. It's brilliant. It truly is brilliant. And when we do the upper cervical work, we're affecting, especially this area up here, where over 30% of all neurological function is. Your breathing, your cardiovascular function, as well as all the muscles from here all the way down are supplied by that area.
So if you have a nerve that's irritated that is part of the sympathetic nervous system, then you're going to end up just slowly over time driving yourself more and more and more that way. And so that's not even something that you may mentally be calm, but your body is responding to that and driving you more and more and more toward the stressful state. And that's where a chiropractic adjustment has been shown to bring balance between the two systems. We see that people who are under chiropractic care are more toward the middle of their HRV than people who aren't.
Right.
And that's some really cool research that is still being done, even though HRV is fairly old.
Yeah.
They're still doing research about it that it just shows the benefit of chiropractic care bring you into balance there.
Yeah, and when we're talking about too, I mean, think about this. Valentine's Day, we see hearts everywhere. So let's just talk about the heart. Let's just talk about that. If you want to see some really interesting work on high blood pressure and the upper cervical work that we do here, you can actually go to WebMD. Everybody typing right now. Go to WebMD, and you can just put in the little search engine there and put upper cervical chiropractic, or even just chiropractic and hypertension. Just put those two together, and it will come up with a pilot study that, again, there is a ongoing study from that point on that came out that says that you can lower blood pressure by making sure the atlas is in proper alignment. How awesome is that? It actually, I mean, in the study, it said that it brought their blood pressure down. This small cohort, it was only about 50 people. 25 received a sham adjustment, and the other 25 received the real precision adjustment. All 25 of those people, on average, lowered their blood pressure by 17 points. It would take 2 blood pressure medications to do that.
And clinically, we see that too. So very often, if we see a patient that is on multiple blood pressure medications, or even just one big dose, we have to make sure that they know that following the atlas adjustment, they may need to contact their prescribing physician because their blood pressure may lower, and then they start to feel dizzy and woozy because their blood pressure medication is too much. Which is,
isn't that awesome?
Yeah, but it can be scary if they don't know about that. So
exactly,
we always want to make sure and tell them to be expecting that and
to monitor their blood pressure, a couple times a day after their first atlas adjustment, just to see if there is a response like that, because they want to immediately call the doctor. You don't be taking too much medication, because just like Dr. Christie said, you could pass out from too low blood pressure.
Yeah.
So very, very important to make sure that we watch that. We always tell that to our patients that are on any sort of blood pressure medication.
Yeah, which is really cool, because a lot of times people come in with the goal of wanting to reduce medications, which as the body heals, then they're able to do that. And that's one thing that it doesn't really take very long. It's pretty immediate within the first few days.
Yeah. All right. Any questions? Do we have any questions coming in?
Let's see. I wonder if living in the country, or at least out of the city, reduces overall stress levels.
Oh gosh.
I would think it would too. Yeah.
Depends on if you have to commute every day to work. I mean, being out in the country, if you have to commute an hour and a half every day to work, I mean, you're going to have some fight or flight going on at least 3 hours out of your day.
3 hours, yikes.
Yeah, an hour and a half there, an hour and a half back. Yeah. So if you work from home, or maybe, you stay at home, I would think living out in the country does. That's my goal eventually.
One of the things that I do know for sure is that being in touch with nature does reduce stress. So
grounding. We should talk about grounding. Sorry.
So excuse me. So yeah, I would think that living closer to nature would be helpful too. But if you don't, then Mike McCrae says yes, it does, and you would know. Congratulations on your move. I lost my train of thought.
Oh, that's okay. We can talk about grounding. I know I probably just totally messed you up, didn't I?
Grounding. Okay, let's talk about grounding. Do you guys know what grounding is?
Mercola, if you've ever been to Mercola.com, Dr. Joseph Mercola has some really great articles on that. So if you go to mercola.com and just put in grounding, you can find some really great scientific articles on that. But with grounding, just, walking barefoot. How many of you have actually gone to the beach and just being on the beach, barefoot on the beach? you feel energized. There's that energy that is surrounding you that is just, it's so refreshing, and it just helps you kind of recover from daily life just to be able to do that, even for a day. So being grounded means being connected to the earth without rubber soles impeding that energy.
Yeah, rubber soles and concrete are kind of barriers between the energy of the earth. And it's kind of like, if you think of it like a rechargeable battery. And so when we are barefoot on the earth, the elemental energy of the earth actually connects with our body and helps us to recharge, so to speak.
Yeah.
And as city dwellers, we don't get a lot of opportunity for that.
We have a concrete jungle here in Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, even when I'm maybe swimming in my pool in the backyard, I'm barefoot, but I'm on concrete. So you really have to, I think, make an effort if you're a city dweller to have opportunity to be barefoot on the ground. So in the grass works just fine. At the beach is great. Even on a rock, you will get that benefit, but just not concrete.
Yeah.
And not rubber sole shoes. And they actually make shoes that have metal in the sole of them, so that it transfers that metal as a conductor, so it transfers that energy up then into your foot.
Yeah, I have seen those.
Yeah. And you know, another thing is that the foot levelers shoe insert that we sometimes recommend, and we're actually going to be talking a little bit more about that in the upcoming months. They actually have a technology of fabric that uses
kinetic energy
and micro minerals to help give us, it's not exactly the same as grounding, but it gives us some of the same benefits of that because of what's in the fabric. And that's actually pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we got a few things coming.
Okay. Poison ivy, not good for bare feet, no.
No, but usually that's on the sides.
Always worried about poison ivy, my husband. Yeah, favorite times favorite dates are at nature and parks, at the beach. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I love the beach. It's so refreshing and just re-energizing.
Okay.
All right, so
you have one last thing, don't you?
yes, we've got some fun stuff. So we're talking about Valentine's Day. We're talking about giving our very best to our loved ones, which we should be doing every single day. But one of the fun things that we got, Naturally is one of our favorite products. It's completely, I mean, you're looking at something that doesn't have any garbage in it,
Yeah.
So we do have, for just this month only, we do have our warm and sensual massage oil that we have at our office. We thought it'd be a fun thing to have for Valentine's month. And so we do have a few bottles of these left. So if you're looking for something wonderful to give a good foot massage to your loved one, hi honey. This is really great. You're not going to get any of the nasty effects of some of the other massage oils that are out there. I mean, everything you see on this, you will actually be able to recognize on the label.
Yeah, and it's advertised as gluten-free. So you want to take it to the next level.
Exactly. So anybody that is, gluten sensitive, you don't have to worry about these products, which is really great.
All right. Well, it's been awesome hanging out with you guys on Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy
Love to
Valentine's
everyone.
Day.